Ange Postecoglou has crossed Hadrian's Wall and is down from the east end of Glasgow and has taken over at the football club. But some of the fans are not happy. Before a ball is kicked, Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust has announced it will stage a demonstration against the club's ticket price rises ahead of Ange's first official home game, and that's against Manchester United on Saturday, August the 19th. The movement is accusing Tottenham as a club of, quotes, exploiting fans' loyalty during a time of a living crisis. Let's get more on this. The chair of Tottenham Supporters Trust is Martin Buhagiar. Martin, good morning. You're angry, are you, at the ticket price rises?
Yeah, morning, Jim, Danny, Alex. Thanks for having us on. We are angry at the prices. I think there comes a time where clubs need to realise that there's so much money in the game, and there are ways that they can actually save money rather than fleecing loyal supporters and exploiting loyalty. And it was really disappointing for us to see those prices increased, particularly because there was no consultation with supporters, there was no consultation with us, and there was no consultation with the new fan advisory board either, which we have representatives on. So,
what, you expect the club to talk to you about it?
Yeah, we've got a relationship where we would expect them to. They told us in the morning that ticket prices were going up, but we would expect them to consult us and ask for our feedback, as they did with season tickets, potential season ticket increases. But there's a lot going on. We had some messages last night from Wolves Supporters Trust, Newcastle Supporters Trust in Manchester City, and there is a lot going on at other clubs. And I think as football supporter movements are coming together to take this to clubs, because there does seem to be Premier League greed. It's obvious at the moment. It just seems to be take from the fans and see how much more we can push.
Well, how much more do they want you to pay? What are we talking about? What kind of rises are we talking about?
Well, so we're talking, they're double-digit rises, so it's between 9 and 13%. So, but what they're doing is they're putting up match day ticket prices. So, for example, if I'm going with my 2 or 3 children and I haven't got a season ticket, my prices are going to have increased. Between £3 and £15 for Category B game, and between £10 and £17 for Category A game. But the other problem we have is that when you look at the new stadium, where you can sit with children and pensioners as well, where concessionary seats are, they're few and far between. So what you have is you have a lot of parents taking their children to games and they can't get concessionary seats. So they have to pay full whack. So if you're going to Arsenal, for example, Spurs Arsenal, you are looking at up to £103 for a ticket. And if you can't get a concessionary ticket and you're taking 2 children, you could have to pay £300 for 3 tickets. That's not including food, drink and travel. And we have to remember, football's a working class game, isn't it? It's a working class sport. We want, I remember Daniel Levy saying in 2001, we need to get young football fans in through the gates. They are the future of the football club. You know,
but Martin, you're apparently watching the best games in the best league, and as for you lot, in the best stadium.
We are. I'd say for the last 4 years we've watched terrible football, and it's been a hard watch for us with Jose Conte and Nuno Espirito Santo. So hopefully things will improve with Ange Postecoglou, but I don't think they can continue to push to say because it's the best league supposedly, and because it's the best football, they can continue to fleece fans, because actually ticketing prices don't make up much of a football club like Tottenham Hotspur's annual turnover and revenue.
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because what percentage of the home crowd is actually not season ticket holders, and what type of profit are they going to be making by these rises? Because it does seem that it's something that's going to disgruntle fans for a small gain from Tottenham's perspective. Dan.
Yeah, completely. And so on that as well, they've changed the categorisation of games. So now we've got more Category A games, more Category B games, and less Category C games. Yeah. So the cheaper games against what they would consider the lesser Premier League teams are fewer. There are less of those. So we've got about 40 to 45,000 season ticket holders. So that I think there's about 15,000 seats that go on general sale, or 11,000, something like that, to members. Yeah. But when you look at this increase will generate approximately £2.5 million for the club, which is peanut. It's relative for the club. That's 2.5 million. You're paying that. You're not even paying that for a poor left back these days. Are you?
You know what? I've got to stop because that itself, even if it's wrong by $500,000 or even $1 million, it's absolutely ludicrous, isn't it? It's what's going on in the world right now for people with the interest rates, with the energy bills, that you're going to try and nick £3 million.
Exactly.
It's just ludicrous.
People are struggling to pay their mortgage, their shopping. For 2.5 million, when you look at it, so this would make it. We estimate this increase for the financial year ending 2022, if it was then, it would be 0.6% of the club's total income. Now you look at that and you think, right, we were apparently going to offer Harry Kane £400,000 a week if he stayed. So why didn't you just offer him 360 grand a week, and you saved you 2.5 million there? We paid Jose Mourinho 10 to 11 million pounds a year and sacked him. Nuno Espirito Santo came in on £7 million a year. We sacked him after a couple of months, so he obviously walked away with £14 million. Antonio Conte was on something like £13.5 million. We've sacked him too. So our argument is, if we actually get our managerial strategy correct, we stop paying managers, sacking managers and having to pay them huge sums of money, you can then stop fleecing the fans.
Yeah, but that's a different area altogether, Martin.
Yeah, but I think it's a good point when you talk about the money that Spurs are actually going to make from this. It is a drop in the ocean compared to what they spend on signings, on wages, and on sacking managers, which they made a habit of.
Ludicrous.
But don't the Premier League need to intervene here? Because obviously there's that cap on what you can charge for away tickets. Surely the simple solution, rather than targeting Tottenham, because I don't see that your protest is going to make much difference to them, unfortunately, go to the Premier League and implore them to put a cap on the price of home tickets as they have for away tickets.
Yeah, a lot of football supporters groups campaigned for the initially it was 20s plenty campaign, and we got away tickets down to £30. It would be great to see something like that for home games. But I think that's going to have to come. The Premier League and the FA are going to have to step in at some point. You see what's happening at Newcastle. I think that there's some sort of ballot going on up there where sometimes you apply for a ballot for a ticket and you don't even know what you're going to pay. It could be between £40 and £70. They have to do something to stop this, because people are being priced out of the game. And in the end, you're going to see, as Jim said, it's the best league in the world with the most passionate supporters in the world, we believe. But you are going to see soulless bowls of stadiums.
Full of day trippers.
But do you know what? I'm not sure we are. That's the sad thing. The
stadiums will be full, but they'll be full with a different type of supporter.
The owners don't care. They don't care about a regular. We should, but you can't. I don't think the Premier League's getting involved in trying to restrict home prices, because that's going to. It's like restraint of. I don't know. That sounds like a legal battle that you don't want. But I think when Liverpool did it in 2016, so I think 10,000 supporters walked down 77th minute. They were. Some of their tickets were going up from 58, 59 to £77.
Well, there is a Liverpool fan getting in touch, Danny.
And they did
Niall, he's just saying, I've just paid 140 quid for a Liverpool ticket for the game against Brentford. I'm happy to pay that because football is my big thing in life. If people can't afford to go, then it's up to them.
It doesn't make it right just because some people can afford it. No, but to the original point, going back to the can you do something about it? Liverpool did change. They did reduce it back.
Yes.
They did keep it at 59 quid because 10,000 the Liverpool fans went mad.
So it did make an impact.
And it did make an impact.
In fairness to the Glazers, Jim, and we had me bashing them earlier this week, the one thing that United fans can't really attack them about is ticket price. I think it's the first time in a decade they put season ticket prices up. I'm going to the Wolves game. It's cost me 49 quid for a ticket. I think that's okay.
Up, incidentally. Alex Crook said in
it's an hour's work, isn't it, for you, that?
Martin, how many people are going to take part in this protest before the Manchester United game?
We think a lot. We've got a lot of people contact us on social media saying they're going to be there. We've got a lot of people emailing us saying they can't afford to go to games anymore, but they'll come to the demonstration. And it's just a point. We just want to show the club. We hope that they will agree that £2.5 million here, it's not worth. It's a PR own goal. There was actually a lot of positive feeling around the club with James Maddison signing, the goalkeeper signing, Ange Postecoglou coming in saying the right thing. And they've shot themselves in the foot. I mean, we've said for years, Tottenham Hotspur as a board have become, they've run out of feet to shoot themselves in because they just do these things.
Martin, you know what it's like. Yeah. For a start, most of the people involved in the protest will say, OK, great turnout, bye everybody, and take their seats. And secondly, what happens if Ange gets off to a flyer, and he might, and you win 4 in the trot? Tickets will be like gold dust. You'll all be after them.
Absolutely. But the point is, there'll still be some loyal supporters who told us this year, They were there last year, and now they've come to. It's interesting what the Liverpool fans said. He can afford it, but what happens next season when he can't afford it? When you get to that breaking point, and our loyalty is to our members who were there last year, the year before, who were there at White Hart Lane when we were losing 1-0 to Hull, before Pochettino took over, and are now being priced out of the game. And if we have success, they deserve to be there.
Right, Martin, here's the deal. It's me, Danny, and Alex. You be part of the show now, okay? So Levy listens to the show. We know that. They all listen to it, and we're thrilled at that because Simon's a good relationship with them all and what he says they listen to. So it's us this morning, but you've your chance here. What do you want to say to Levy live on talkSPORT?
Just rethink your strategy. Just rethink your ticketing strategy. We understand. We know clubs have to make money, but we know there's better ways for clubs to make money. And clubs did an awful lot of good during the pandemic. Tottenham Hotspur did a lot of good during the pandemic. They turned their the stadium into a base for the NHS, and we were so proud of our club at that point. But now's not the time. During a cost of living crisis, when people are finding it hard to pay their mortgages, people are finding it hard to pay their shopping bills. Now is not the time to increase ticket prices.
You're a season ticket holder, right?
One thing, Jim, isn't the other thing as well? Sorry, just to interject. Isn't the other thing really crucially what you said earlier that I find bizarre, is that of the 10 to 15,000 tickets that are available, that there's not enough of those tickets that you can buy as a concession for OAPs and children. That is ridiculous. They should all be available to buy. If you Jim, if you want to take your kids or whatever it may be, you shouldn't have a situation where that's not. There's only a small fraction of that would help.
How much you pay for your season ticket, Martin?
Mine's £1,000 a year, and I go. My two eldest sons are 19 and 16, and there's a £750 each. And we have to pay young adult prices for them because you can't get. We're in the south stand, the big tier behind the goal, the 1-tier stand, the safe standing stand, but you can't get concessionary tickets in the areas that we stand in. So
I think Spurs announced in April they'd put a freeze in season ticket prices, didn't they?
They did, yeah. I mean,
that was good.
To be fair, yeah, absolutely. But to be fair, Tottenham season ticket prices were already amongst the highest in Europe at that point. So we don't think. And I would argue if we'd finished third or fourth last season, had a good season like we had the year before, we'd be talking about a season ticket increase now. I think they realised they couldn't do it.
Maybe if they halved the prices of all the refreshments, then people wouldn't be as bothered paying more for the ticket at that place.
Martin, listen, thank you very much indeed for joining us.